Welcome to Brewing Change, the art of hosting sustainable collaborative change. Hi, I'm Ife, and I am the Director of Possibilities for People of Excellence. As an international facilitator and speaker, I have engaged with change all across the globe. Change is definitely a constant you can bet on. I am grateful to welcome you as your hostess in discovering how you can host sustainable collaborative change. At People of Excellence, we are on a mission to expand the capacity of individuals and organizations to ignite 1 billion small changes around the globe. We do this by authentically connecting life and leadership to successful outcomes. So we welcome you to join this mission. So let's talk about our discussion today. We're going to take you on a journey and a blend of collaborative change, design elements, and the art of hosting change. So I want to invite you to grab a cup of tea as we go on this journey. First, I want to talk to you about whole system collaborative change. According to Cady and Danny Miller in their article called The Whole System Change, The 5 Truths of Change, they describe a whole system as when the regularly independent parts are forming a unified whole, thus interacting according to the influence of related forces. In short, the whole system is engaged in creating its new self. So what's brewing? Did you know that by slurping tea, you can mix tea with more oxygen in your mouth, allowing you to pick up more aroma? Collaborative change can be described by the Change Collaborative Library as the achievement of mutually desired outcomes through the purposeful experience of sharing among 2 or more people. At People of Excellence, we describe it as a bridge. It allows us to walk together towards a path that is a shared goal while ensuring that everyone has what they need. In order to get to collaborative change, there's got to be design elements. Similar to tea, tea is not just a mixture of random leaves together in a cup that you sip and pour over water, yet it is these intentional design elements. These are typically done by a certified tea sommelier. A sommelier is a trained professional who has expertise in tea. Tea sommeliers know how to identify different types of tea, taste, and brew using the proper techniques and have an understanding of tea and food pairings. As we think about the design elements of collaborative change, similar to those of brewing the right cup of tea for a high tea, there are 8 design elements of collaborative change according to the Change Handbook Library. There's innovation. Why you? Why now? There's the purpose. Why use this approach? There's the system, the people who need to be involved, the experience. How does it work? The technology. What can we leverage? What tools and technology can we leverage? The evidence, the theoretical and empirical foundations, the values, the core principles, and then mastery, how you can become confident and competent as a change leader. To better understand these design elements, we took the opportunity to look at individual elements or individual collaborative methods. We can think of these as different types of tea leaves. There was abundant community, appreciative inquiry, applied improvisation, collaborative arts, design thinking, future search, graphic facilitation, liberating structures, open space, tea groups, and World Cafe. We took each of these methods and put them into an affinity diagram to better understand the intersections, routes, links, pulses, and directions of these different elements within each individual change method. In the affinity diagram, and what is an affinity diagram? So, an affinity diagram is a tool. It's literally a diagram or a picture that is reflecting the affinity or connections among information sets, according to Project Management Academy. The use of an affinity diagram is to organize large amounts of data into a visual aspect so that people can connect with the information. And the discovery element are the themes based on relationships that can be discovered in an affinity diagram. So what did we discover in collaborative change methods? We took each of the 11 elements and laid them out against the 8 design elements. There we discovered patterns and themes that were consistent not only in the individual method, but also across each of those. We took this information and we put it into a mind map. This way we could discover the blend of these themes and patterns. What is a mind map? So a mind map is a two-dimensional structure. It's a tool. The uses are to show you the shape of a subject and its connections. A subject meaning a topic, for example, collaborative change and design elements. One can discover opportunities to think creatively and find connections and patterns within that specific structure or within that specific subject. In applying the same thinking to collaborative change methods and looking at the design elements, there were a multitude of discovery with pathways and nodes stretching far across and far and wide. Here's what we discovered. In looking at the 8 design elements, in the system, we discovered the different people, facilitators, conveners, participants, and even the experts, this collection of a variety of diversity. And in technology, of course, we know it's limitless there. However, we discovered those pertinent things that can be used both virtually and in person that help to facilitate change, including live streaming or online platforms, whether it's face-to-face, how we configure chairs and virtual spaces in chat rooms, as well as collaborative tools such as Google Drive. The pattern and theme that emerged the most and was the strongest centered on how the leader or facilitator of change artistically hosts the change experience for people. We each have the ability to influence people through the fragrance of how we host. Hosting is a lost art, but is one of the highest forms of kindness and service we can express to others. It is not only an art, it is an act of servitude and love. The art of hosting method defines hosting as it gives attention and care to all aspects of people's working together, intending to host them and being successful, just as any person welcoming guests will make sure that you have everything that you need to make your visit fruitful. I liken hosting to the role of the event planner. This requires that the leader or facilitator of collaborative change possesses a mastery level of an artist. To explore the collaborative change sommelier who is skilled in brewing change, one must build their capacity in collaborative practices. According to Nexus for Change, there are 6 aspects of collaborative practice. Hosting conversations. What tools, methods, and practices can we develop to host conversations that matter? Harvesting and sense making. How do we collectively learn, make sense of, and share the results of those hosted conversations? Understanding the system. How do we understand the people and the art of people and working together with people and who's missing from that particular system? Collaboration. How do we work together to create teams and organizations that lead to more learning and meaningful results? Of course, personal practice. What personal practice do I need to cultivate in order to lead others? Creating the conditions. How do we create the right conditions for successfully participatory processes and collaboration? There are a multitude of resources and tools that can be used to collaborate and to facilitate collaboration. And the art that a change sommelier needs is understanding those. This brings us to understanding the art of hosting. When considering the whole system collaborative change, Cady says it is based on two powerful premises: high involvement and a systemic approach to improvement. Hosting, of course, is the focus of high involvement. In order to have high involvement, it's all about getting the people within the system involved in the change. When this is accomplished, all the people, functions, and ideas of us are systematically leveraged to create dramatic and sustainable change. The art of hosting, not to be confused with the change method, is about how the change collaborative sommelier goes about the act of hosting said change, focusing on how you keep people involved, connected, welcomed throughout the change, from the invitation to the thank you note. This is how you brew change that results in increased engagement and sustainability, especially for those who are in the margin of the system. I decided to use the 3-step instructional visual for constructing on how to construct the host of change. This visual seeks to communicate connections and behaviors through 3 of the major design elements, which include the system, experience, and technology. Starting with the first one, the system. This first design element is where a human system of change resides. Without people, I'm not sure what you're hosting, but the detail and the attention that people need to feel supported and safe in a change is why it's first. It is about the relationship between the host and the hosted. It's about how we engage with those people and share with those people. It's really about the people, and how we host people is the ultimate aspect. The next element is about how the hosting focuses on the experience design element. How you host people beyond the exercise of the experience is equally important as well. This includes how one's 5 senses are engaged, along with the emotions, both before, during, and after the change event. This step seeks to keep the system at the center of every decision in an effort to maintain the container created to host the change. The third one is the technology. Technology is a final design element, considering how we use the tools to engage those 5 systems and other tools to support that change. This can include from the location that the change is held at, the invitation, the welcome greeting that someone engages with, the restroom, parking, facility accessibility. Even where will you locate a break from the change? That can be a hallway or a break room. How do we facilitate parents and mothers and fathers who have small children? And how we welcome each of those different individuals. How do we support the different ages and needs? What is that technology? Not only is it the technical technology, but the facility, the environment, the smell, the fragrance that you leave. Collaborative change methods are in service of change, seeking freedom from, freedom with, and freedom to. The fragrance of hosting helps to invite, welcome, and connect to the purpose. It draws me back in when I desire to disconnect from the discomfort and takes a deep breath of gratitude when it is accomplished. By ensuring that hosting components are woven into these 3 design elements, one can design a collaborative change event that will lead to more sustainable solutions. So I welcome you to brew some whole system collaborative change that leads to sustainable solutions. I have been your host, Ife Bell, the Director of Possibilities for People of Excellence, and you are welcome.